Hey there, everybody. It's Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. Today is Friday, October 30th, 2020. We are in the final day of the trading week. We are in the final day of the trading month. And we are in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but I think it's worth repeating. In my opinion, the best time of the day to make your buying and selling decisions for your swing trade is at the end of the day. During the day, you have the algorithms and the day traders. They are in control of the price. At the end of the day, in the last hour, particularly in the last few minutes, the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with a lot of money. They're dealing with a lot of size in their positions. And that size and that strength takes the control of the price from the day traders and the algorithms. So in the long run, I really do think following what the end of the day crowd is doing is an edge, and that's why I make the majority of my buying selling decisions at the end of the day. All right, well, what a day. Holy smokes. So we had big earnings yesterday with Apple and Google and Amazon and Facebook, and decent earnings, but the market didn't like it. And currently the Dow Jones is down 434 points, down 1.61%. The NASDAQ is down 334 points, down about 3%. And the S&P is down 66 points, down just a little over 2%. So it's a wild and woolly day. I hope everybody's taking care out there and trying to stay safe from this this volatile month we've had so far. So, all right, well, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a lot of day trades today. Overall green, which I'm grateful for, happy for, that's for sure. But not been an easy day trading day either. After that, we're going to go over, take a look at your current positions on the board. I'm looking at them right now. I don't see any green, unfortunately, but that's how it goes some days. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. Again, this kind of day that we're having right now and the days we've had in the past is it's a good time to talk about trader psychology, because when things are going good, you're making money, things are green all the time, easy sailing. It doesn't really put you to the test. At the end of the day, in this kind of environment with lots of volatility, it does rev up your emotions, both to the upside and to the downside. And that's when you really have to be a stalwart and really get control of your emotions. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is position size correctly, set yourself up for good risk to reward ratios, get out when you're supposed to. The first loss is the easiest loss. It's never fun to take a loss, but the first one is the easiest. Trust me, you'll forget about it in a day or two. And but if you hold on to something for a long time and it just grows and grows and grows, holy smokes, that is an issue. And I've been there, and I don't want anybody to have to go through that. So we're going to talk about trader psychology for a few minutes. After that, I've gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through results of Kamal Scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a trade. First requirement, confluence combination of indicators lining up ideally on multiple time frames. Step number 2, or requirement number 2, have to have a good risk to reward ratio. No matter how good your setup is, it's not a good setup if you do not have a good risk to reward ratio. 2 to 1 is my minimum. If I'm willing to risk $100, I want to be able to make 200 or more to the upside if I'm correct, and only lose 100 to the downside if I'm wrong. And then number 3, again, another good day to talk about this. Always take a look at your account heat. Account heat is the percentage of your total capital that you have in positions or that you have at risk. 60% is the maximum that I ever go. That's just it. It's the maximum I ever go. I learned that from Steve Burns, and I think it is really good advice. Also, you don't want to have too many correlated positions. If you're highly correlated in tech today, you're not having a good day. You're not, even if you're in the Dow or in the S&P, you're not having a great day, but better than if you'd been only in the NASDAQ, right? It's great when things go up, but if things go down, it's nice to have a little diversification. All right, so I'm going to go through the watch list. I'm going to take a look at the candidates. If something looks good, I'll put it over to the left. If it doesn't look good, I'll put it over to the right. And at the end of the day, I'll go down through the ones on the left and go through them with a fine-tooth comb at the end of the day. And if there's something good, I will go ahead and buy it right before the close. If there's something good, maybe there's not something good. We're just going to have to see how things close here today. And then when the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them, happy to clarify anything that I was not clear on. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the close of the market, please let me know. Put them in the chat. I'm happy to look at those. Just put an asterisk or an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive. And then lastly, if you have any new additions or subtractions today that are up on the board, or if you have some new positions, if you could please wait till the end of the day so that the market's closed, I'm done trading, I'm done teaching, pressure's off, and then we'll spend as much time as we need to get those taken care of, okay? Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who's here today. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good chatting with you today. Kamal and I chat during the day about our day trades, and I tell him my trades. He tells me his trades. And so anyway, I'm always appreciative of that, Kamal, and your friendship. Quad says, good afternoon, Greg and group. Hey, Quad, good to see you, buddy. Jatin is here. Hello and good afternoon, sir. Hello, sir, and good afternoon to you as well. Miko is here. Hey, Greg and all. Hey, Miko. Tracy, hey, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Tracy says, hi, everyone, and Greg. Hello, everyone, and Tracy. If Paxton's there, please give him my best. Dan says, hey, Greg, and the Gossets. Today I used my PC and bought Steve Burns' latest book. Greg, nice forward. My weekend is booked. Thanks, Steve. Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic, fantastic. I know you're going to get a lot of mileage out of that book, Dan. I got a lot of mileage on that. Had a huge positive effect on my trading. Frank says, hello, Ween, Greg, and group. Hello. Oh, Halloween. Gotcha. I thought we were doing German accents there. Good to see you, Frank. Talal says, hello, Greg and everyone. Hello, Talal. Nice to see you, sir. Hope you're having a good evening. Thanks for coming. Quad says, my trades have been mauled by bears today. Yeah, it's been tough today, for sure. Frank says, if you can't count your gains, then count your blessings. That's perfect. That's perfect. Can I post that, Frank? That's fantastic. Talal says, Dan, had same issue, had to buy it through my PC as well. Couldn't make it on my phone. Oh, interesting. I don't know why that is. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Hope you and Holly and the dogs are doing well. Always an honor to have you here, Steve. Thanks for popping in and saying hello to us and sharing your trades with us. I really appreciate that. I know everyone else does too. And also, thank you for including me on your list today on Twitter. I always appreciate that. Dan says, Steve Books allows the computer to read the book to you. So cool. Oh, interesting. Talal says, enjoying your book, Steve, so far. That's great to hear, Talal. Bob says, hi, everyone. Hey, Bob, David is here. Hey, Dave, good chatting with you last night. Good catching up with David. I always like to catch up with my former students, and glad you're doing well. Glad the trading's going well. Gary is here. Hey, Gary. Hello, Greg and group. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Ava, happy Friday, Greg and all. Hello, Ava. Nice to see you, ma'am. I appreciate you being here. Johnson says, hello, everyone. Investments are all down. Yes, they certainly are today. Not a lot of green going on today. Steve says, I'm exiting my only position today, KMX. It is under the 200 SMA. Yes, I have that position as well, and I will be exiting that, keeping that at a decently small loss and just getting out. Frank says, of course, thank you. Oh, no, thank you. It's so good. If you can't count your gains, count your blessings. Always, always count your blessings. For sure. Ava says, always something to be grateful for. Isn't that true, Ava? There is also always something to be grateful for. Steve says, DIA entering a 30 RSI 200-day confluence zone. Yeah, I've got DIA, unfortunately. At the moment, I'm going to have to get out of this if it closes under the 30 RSI and or the 250-day moving average. All right, well, here we are. Speaking of DIA, I did buy DIA yesterday along with Quad. We went under the 30, over the 30. We went under the 250, over the 250, and we had a V1, giving a good risk to reward ratio. I mean, of course, you know, we ran into a day when the NASDAQ or the Dow was down almost 400 points. It is off of its lows, so there's something to be grateful for, right? But if it does close under the 30 RSI, does close under the 250 day, I'm going to have to go ahead and just hit that sell button and take the loss. Better than just going down and down and down and down and me getting into, oh, it can't go any lower mode, because it can always go lower than you think and it can always go higher than you think. So I will be getting out of DIA today, unless we have some miraculous rally at the end. VXX, well, I do have something green on here. I did buy VIX calls back here when the price was 22.44 with the 1030 crossover. Had a beautiful move up. I sold half of my calls here. Whenever I have a big move up, I do sell some of my position. 2 days ago, I sold another half of my calls here when the price was up at 27.53, right near the top. I did keep a quarter yesterday because we didn't close below the previous day's low. So I do have a quarter of my call position on the VIX. I still have it, which I'm grateful for because it is up 2.19% today, at least the VXX is. And the calls, well, I bought them at 291 and they're much higher than that. So grateful I had a little VIX over here, makes things a little bit easier. SPY. Real quick, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it the first thing the next morning. This is based upon a long-term backtested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, they tested two approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY at the open, hold it till the close, sell it at the close. If you use this every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. That's a lot of trading every day since 1993 to lose 13.9%. However, if you did the opposite, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk. That's where I feel like the advantage in this trade is. Sell it first thing the next morning. This over time gained positive 634.2% compared to doing the opposite, which is a negative 13.9%. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Just because it's worked in the past has no bearing that it's going to work in the future, but I think the odds are improved of that because the track record is so good. But of course, we never know. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be something that has good back-tested results. Blue line here, buy the close, sell the next morning. Orange line, buy the morning, sell the close. Not even close. Over time, the blue line, all it has done is gone up, but there have been significant drawdowns. So be careful if you use this. I would suggest using a very conservative 5% of your capital to buy the SPY at the close, sell it first thing the next morning, hopefully for a little bit more. But this is a very streaky approach. And it can be really frustrating at times. It can be really easy trading at times. So I did buy SPY yesterday at the close at 329.98, and I did take a loss again, 328.28. Are those both 28s? Oh, 98 to 28. Yeah. So I bought at 329.98. I sold at 328.28. So I did take a loss. This has been a tough week. I got hammered here, little gain, hammered here, little gain, hammered here. So the gains have been little and the losses have been big in this particular week. This will be the first month in many, many months where I am down on the month using this. Up until the last couple days, I was up on the month trading it, but you know, we just took a couple whacks. But not to be deterred, it's a small position size that I take every day. I will buy this again, hold it over the weekend, and you know, could have another big loss on Monday or could have another gain. KMX, Gary, Steve, Dan, Yas, Ahmad, and Quad, and myself, we did buy KMX, which is CarMax yesterday with this close back above the 200-day moving average, giving us support of the 200 underneath us. However, it is down today. It's down 1.93% today. My line in the sand, when I say line in the sand, I mean if it closes below whatever my line in the sand is, I get out. My line in the sand was the 200-day moving average. But, you know, if you take into account volatility, which I did, and you have a conservative maximum risk percentage, then little losses like this don't beat you up. I mean, they're not fun. Don't get me wrong. They are definitely not fun. But that's all you can do. Analyze the trade, give yourself a good risk to reward ratio, position size correctly, account for volatility, put the trade on, and then react accordingly. If it would have gone up, I would have kept it, right? And possibly could have had a nice run up. But if I'm wrong, like I am today, I'm just going to go ahead and get out. Okay, those are my day trades. Not my day trades. Those are the swing trades. Diamonds were down. VIX is up. SPY was a loser overnight. CarMax a loser overnight. All right, let's get to some wins, shall we? Exxon. All right, first trade here, I did buy Exxon. This false breakout to the downside from here and a V1. Here's day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1's close. After a couple up bars, I went ahead and just took off half of the position at 32.47. Up here, had another big move up. Got out at 32.62, and then we lost the 50, closed below the previous day's low. So I got in at 32.35, out at 32.43, out at 32.47, and out at 32.62. So that was a good trade. Then I took a trade here at 32.23. It initially went my way. It moved up pretty nice, but then it came right back down and I got out at break even. So this is a scratch trade, right? Got in at 32.33, moved up, came all the way back to my entry. I rarely let any day trade that goes in the money come all the way back down and start having a loss. I just don't like to do it. So that was a scratch trade right there. Google. So Kamal also took this trade. Look, Google's up 3.61% today, and that is why it got my attention. You know, it's up on a really down day. So if we do have a turnaround in the market, my thinking is that Google is going to go up a lot faster than others. And it did, and it's still up on the day. So I did buy Google right here. We had a false breakout to the downside. I waited till the end of the bar. I bought at 16.19.20. It went up. It started to go up. Then it lost the 50 RSI. So I sold half my position at a loss. So I got in at 16.19.20, sold half for a loss at 16.50.30. It did hold my end of day stop here. Then it took off. I sold another half here. I sold another half here. And then luckily I got the top, almost the top here at 16.33.60. So I got in at 16.19.20, sold half for a loss at 16.15, got out for a gain at 16.21.60, got out for a gain at 16.28.10, got out for a gain at 16.33.60. So overall, that was a good positive trade. Apple, Here we go. We had a nice big up bar. I waited until we got back to halfway. Basically, I got right close to halfway. If it closed below halfway, I just have to get out, and it did. So I took a loss here, 108.69, got out at 108.44. So that's the only trade I had on Apple, which was a loss. And then I think I have all my trades here. Then I bought the Qs here. We had a V1 to the downside that immediately got reversed. I bought it here at 268.11. I sold half at 268.27. No, I'm sorry. I bought 268.11. When I had the big up bar move, I got out of half at 268.96. I got out of another half when we lost the 50 RSI, and then I got out of the other half when it came back to break even. So I entered here. Once I had a big move up, I sold half. I always sell on a big strength. Then it came down, lost the 50, got out, but that was still positive. And the last quarter, I got out at break even. So that was a positive trade. Good, Kamal. Apple didn't close below 108.10. Fantastic. So day trades net were positive today, which really helped. I'm grateful for that. Jatson says DKNG was a perfect short yesterday at 37.40. What's it doing today? Wow, down 5.3%. Yeah, that stock scares me. Mark is here. Hey, Greg, sitting on my hands. Hey, Mark, good to see you. That's a good place to sit today. Kamal says, Apple touched the 100 SMA. I am out of the daily Apple trade. It finally closed below 118.10. Oh, it did? Dang it. I didn't see that. That must have been when I was getting ready for the show. Jackson says, VIX has a triple top at 39.70. If it breaks by any chance, further down move in the index. Yes. Frank has a poem for us. Oh, it's a Halloween one, too. I'm excited for this one. Let me post or copy that in there like that. Oh boy. I'll fix that later. Okay. Trick or treat. It's Wall Street. Days when the market's filled with fear. Traders bleed losses no one wants to hear. Eyes on the screen like frightened deer waiting for the ghosts of their money to reappear. Oh man, that's excellent. Trick or treat, it's Wall Street. Days when the market's filled with fear. Traders bleed losses no one wants to hear. Eyes on screens like frightened deer waiting for the ghost of their money to reappear. Yes, it would be nice if it reappeared, wouldn't it? Wow, that's excellent, Frank. Man, you're so good at that. Unbelievable. Is he just not the best? Quad says, Frank, you are a legend. He is a legend. I know once I see a trading quote book with your name on it as a bestseller. I agree. I think you should do trading quotes, Frank. I think you could sell a ton of them. Truth at its best, Frank, sir. I agree. Great poem, Frank. Truly a gift. Yes, Frank is the poet of Wall Street. Incredible he can drop his rhymes every day. I know. It's unreal. Frank says, thank you, guys. Steve says, almost every bearish cross under signal I have on my chart is watchlist is triggered after today. Yep. Gary says, time to buy puts again, Steve. Frank says, my plan for Apple has been to hold it 6 months with emergency stop, of course. Okay, good. Good. All right. Well, let's turn over here, see what's happening. I do have Brian in Walmart at 140.69. Had a nice move, but now it has come down. So I don't know if Brian still is in this, but this is under his entry point, and it is down 1.39% today, unfortunately. LVGO. All right, Frank did buy LVGO at 132.50. Went up, came back down. He sold half, still at a profit, kept the other half, had a nice little run up here. It's kind of gone up and down, rallied the last couple days, but down pretty big today, down 3.87%. But it is down today, but he is still up on the trade, and that's what's important. Most important part, when you're in a winning trade, okay, do with it what you will, right? I mean, there's all sorts of different ways, but what you can't do is let that gain turn into a loss. That's what you just absolutely cannot do. Oh, I had a day trade on Intel. I felt like I had more trades on Intel. Here we go. I had it in the wrong spot. Okay, at the open, Intel had a huge move up. Well, I didn't want to chase it, but I waited until it came back down here to halfway of the bar. I bought it intra-bar right here at 44.29. My stop would have been just basically a close below this 100-day moving average. I mean, I was so close to it when I bought it, but I was counting on the fact that it would bounce here, and it did. So I sold it, or I bought it at 44.29, had a two big bars up. I got out at 44.64, had another big bar up here near the high, got out of that at 44.75, and then had a close below the, we lost the 200 and a close below. So this was a really good trade to start off the day. Got in at 44.29, out at 44.59, out at 44.64, and out of 44.75. So, and we've rallied nicely off the bottom here. So, Gary did sell puts on Intel. Let me get rid of these trades here. He picked a $45 strike price. It is now $43.92. So come November 20th, the price is going to have to be above $45. If it is, then he will keep all the money that he sold in premium with this put spread. If not, Gary will be responsible contractually to buy Intel at $45, regardless of how low it is. But if it closes above $45, he'll keep all the gains of the premium. PLTR, David bought PLTR back here at 943, moved up. Glad that he sold half of it right here near the top. Again, anytime you're in a trade and you have one big move up like this, a big, strong monster move up, I always think it's a good reason to take some of your position off. On my swing trades, I have profit targets, right? Those just trigger automatically. But when I'm day trading, I don't put profit targets in. I just sell a portion on big expansion bars. So he did sell half here. I'm sure he wish he would have sold the whole thing, but I'm also sure that he's glad that he sold at least half here much higher. So congratulations. Nice trade there, Dave. And TQQQ. So Gary bought TQQs at 139.11. Nice setup. I took this setup also. I did have to get out here when it closed below halfway the washout bar. Gary did not get out, but he did sell calls. He got $1,120 for selling calls November 6th, 131. So it's way below that. So those calls are in the money, but of course his stock position is not. So I hope you have a plan with that, Gary. Some kind of plan, exactly what you're gonna do with that. Hopefully, right? Ava says TDOC LVOG merger got completed, so we'll miss LVO shares. Oh. So I guess, Frank, you're going to be out of LVO shares as well, huh? What's Teladoc doing? Oh my. Down 9%. Wow. Yeah, that's one heck of a day. Jatson said, this fall reminds me of February, March, the index leaders falling with volume signs of concern. Yeah, I agree. I mentioned yesterday that when stocks have good earnings and they go down, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. This morning, Exxon had bad earnings and they were actually up, which to me is a good sign. It is down 50 cents today. Exxon is down 50 cents today. But they had bad earnings, so it's probably already been priced in this deal, right? But, Amazon had unbelievable earnings. and they're down today. Oh, by the way, Gary did buy $35 strike prices on Exxon. It's 32.44, so by November 20th, Exxon will have to close above $35 in order for Gary to make a profit on this. But it is down today, but not too bad considering the day, so that's at least positive. Gary says, I will be exiting the trade today for a loss, but luckily the calls offset most of it. Excellent. Yeah, excellent, excellent. I was very happy that you at least had those calls, Gary. All right, let me just check current positions. Dow Jones, my DIA definitely looks like I'm going to have to get rid of that with close under the 30 and the 250-day moving average. My VIX is up 3.27%, so I'm grateful for that. SPY was a loss, but I'm glad I sold it at the open, obviously. KMX, also going to get rid of KMX for a loss with a close under the 200-day. Okay. So listen, before we start going through the watch list, before I start looking for the end of day trade, keeping in mind my three requirements always, right? Confluence, combination of indicators of strong support on multiple time frames. Requirement number 2, look for a good risk to reward ratio. 2-to-1 is the minimum. And number 3, whatever I buy today, I have to keep in mind, do I have other positions in the same industry? I want to diversify my holdings. I do not want to have too many highly correlated positions, and I like to use the 2ATR to help me select my position size based upon the volatility of the last 20 days. But before we do that, there's a lot of great Twitter channels, a lot of great Facebook channels out there that post good information, good trading words of wisdom that I like to talk about every day. It's helpful for me. I also hope it's helpful for you when I read these. But this is from our good friend Stephen Burns, and Stephen is in the chat with us right now. This is from the New Traders, Rich Traders group over on Facebook. It's a really good channel over on Facebook. A lot of serious traders. Steve's in there. Kamal's in there, Tom Basso's in there, I'm in there. So go over and apply. You have to apply to that channel. But let's see what Steve has to say here. Profitable trading is built on the foundation of math, but a trader has to have the discipline to follow the math without allowing bad emotions to unplug a good system. So just what I talk about every day. You can have the best trading plan, the best trading setup in the world, but those trading setups really have to do with math. Keeping your losses small. When you have winners, let those winners run. That's math. I mean, if you're winning, you can win less than 50% of the time. You can win 30% of the time if your gains are larger than your wins. So you don't even have to win 50% of the time. You can win less than that, and that's the math behind good risk to reward ratios. But like Steve says, profitable trading is built on the foundation of math. It's built on math. Risk to reward ratios, small losses, big wins, small wins, break evens, but a trader has to have the discipline to follow the math without allowing bad emotions to unplug a good system. So it always comes back to emotions. Revving up your emotions, amplifying your emotions. If your emotions get revved up, you're less likely to follow your system, and therefore you're going to mess with the math, the good math of your approach. So I hope that helps. If any of you do have issues with following your plan, my best advice is position size smaller. The smaller your position size, the less your emotions are going to get revved up. It's just as simple as that, right? It's just as simple as that. Larger position sizes, you're going to look at those gains and losses, and it's going to make you think, oh, what could I have bought with that? What could I have bought with that? Well, that's irrelevant, right? it's irrelevant because you're messing with the math of the system. So thank you very much, Steve Burns. I appreciate that. And by the way, subscribe to Steve Burns over on Twitter at @SJosephBurns. Steve has a really good website called newtraderu.com. Has all sorts of books, great e-courses, posts really good information. So check that out, newtraderu.com. But thank you very much, Steve. This was short and sweet and to the point, but so important. Jathan said Google had the best earnings and it came down with volume. Oh yeah, Google is, I mean, look at that. It's up big today. It's up 3%, but I mean, it got sold in from the very moment. My gosh, it was up at 1666 earlier, and you know, it's been selling all day long. I mean, it's the relative strength, very good. It's up 3%, but this is a very ugly candle. The close is above yesterday's open, but it's very far below today's open, which is not a good sign. Gary says, Greg, I sold those Exxon calls last week. Thought I updated you. Oh, you probably did. You probably did. All right, good. Glad to hear that. Frank says nearly 100% of the TDOC LVGO board agreed to the merger. Mark says, will market finish at 32.35 to show 0% return year to date? Oh, is that right? That would be year to date, would be 0. Interesting. Steve says, bad emotions can cut off the money flow of a good trading system. That's a great way to put it. Bad emotions can cut off the money flow of a good trading system. Wow, that's perfect. Kamal says, there was no decent bounce in the whole text today. Yeah, there were no bounces. There were no buyers. I mean, there were little rallies, up rallies in a downtrend, but they all got sold into. Steve says, that would be bad for buy and hold investors, Mark. So much risk for so little gain if the S&P gets back to even for the year. Steve says, Kamal, so much selling pressure across so many charts. Yeah, it's just plain ugly. It's just plain ugly. Well, so again, DIA I have to let go. VIX is making a high for the day. Glad I have that. SPY, I guess I'm going to get a good price on my overnight SPY trade, but sometimes a low price is not a good price, but that's how it goes. And then KMX, I have to get out of KMX here. Obviously, it's just keeps going down. Frank says, you know it's a bad week when you even lose an hour Sunday. Oh, man. I know. I don't like daylight savings time. It messes me up. Yep, it does. You're right, though, Frank. All right. Well, let's turn our attention towards some potential entries today. Kamal says, Steve Burns, yeah, it was relentless. I am staying all cash for the weekend. All right. UNP. UNP has held in pretty good. I've got to say, it's only down 0.39% today. It did bounce off the 200-day. It went lower, came back up. Over on the weekly, we have rejected the 50-week moving average and the -1 ATR below us, which I do kind of like that, right? I have to look at the weekly and I have to look for something that looks positive, and it did. It rejected these two levels, the -1 and the 50 on the week. Then on the daily, it's holding the 200-day, and it is back above the 30 RSI. So I am somewhat interested in UNP here today, honestly. IIPR, I really don't see anything there other than an under 30, over 30. But yeah, I just don't think so. Gary says, fall back, Frank, you gain an hour. Oh, we gain, there you go. That's right, spring forward. Okay, Kamal wants to look at UNG. Well, close above the 200 and also the 50-day. It is up today, which is positive. MACD is positive. It's above the 50. Not too bad, Kamal. Let's look over here on the weekly. The weekly's good. Had a 520 crossover right in the value zone. Yeah, not too shabby. Johnson says 8th November 2016 election charts were kind of similar. A great fall like a selling climax, and market rallied for straight 4 days upwards, trapping everyone on the downside. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I remember. I was trading futures that night. I remember they were down. The Dow futures, I think, were down 1,000 points. Something was down 1,000 points on that night, and then it rallied and went crazy. Yeah, UNG is not too bad. I mean, you know, we are moving up. We have the 200 and the 50 below us. Not going to buy UNG, but setups look decent. It does. DBI, Designer Brands. Well, earlier this was an under 30, over 30, but not anymore. AFL, under 30, over 30. It is true. That's Aflac. I don't like that it's rejected the third ATR channel above. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly, it's lost the -1, so I don't see anything that I like there either. XLV, which is healthcare, did bounce at the 200-day moving average. Did it go under the 30 and back over the 30? Let's check it out. Not quite, but it did bounce at the 200-day. Let's turn to the weekly. Did reject the -1 ATR channel, so, you know, not too bad, similar to UNP, but I like UNP because the relative strength as well. So, you know, we'll put it over here in the potential. Look at Facebook, everybody. We have enough time, right? Yeah. Facebook down 7.31%. My gosh. I talked about being patiently aggressive the other day, maybe yesterday. You see the 100-day moving average on Facebook? See how it respected that 100-day moving average here? Well, if it gets down near the 100-day moving average, I will be looking to buy Facebook, you know, if I get a signal. It would be a good zone to look at, but still I would need a signal. On Monday, if it got down here, I probably wouldn't buy it, but I would turn intraday and look for an intraday buy. ITB, Dow Jones Homes, no, it's lost everything. Holding the 30, but that's about it. Hey, UNP went positive. Hasbro, well, we came back down. We are moving sidewards, which is a good sign. That means there's an equal number of buyers and sellers. It's not moving up, but it's not moving down. When it moves up, people sell into it. When it moves down, people buy it. So I like this pattern. Nothing for today, but if I could get a false breakout to the downside and V1 back up, that would be excellent. This is what I'm talking about, sidewards motion, not when it comes down for 1 or 2 days and bounces right back up. This is what I'm looking for because it shows there are some buyers willing to support it. Snowflake. UNP's up 34 cents now. Holy smokes. I don't see anything here. I mean, we formed a V2. Here's day 1, 2, 3, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. You get a V2. Yes, it goes up maybe a little bit and then comes back down. Now we've washed out this low over here. So now it could get interesting if we had a good risk to reward ratio, a trigger with a good risk to reward ratio. ResMed. Well, this looks like Google, doesn't it? Up 6.47% today on earnings, but again, sellers right from the open. Went up a little bit higher, but then the rest of the day people just sold. So not interested in that. Rejected the 70 RSI. It's holding the -3 ATR channel, but not interested in that. WAB. No, I don't see anything on WAB. It's a bounce and a very strong down move. People that bought here very likely will be looking for any reason to sell, which will probably drive it back down. MGM. Rejection of the 200-day, but I think that's about it. But, you know, again, when the market's down this far, I'm going to concentrate on the big and the best companies out there that are on sale. You know, when everything's on sale, why not buy the best and the biggest, right? I mean, MGM's big, but it's a confusing chart. XLP. The scanner picked this up with an under 30, over 30. It's interesting. This is consumer staples. You know, usually consumer staples tend to be a little bit more bullish in down moves, but this has just been nasty to the downside. So I don't see anything here. AX. Well, this is what Dr. Alexander Elder would call a bearish kangaroo tail. We opened here, we went way up, we came way back down. Looks like we rejected the 70 RSI, I believe. Maybe. Very close. A lot of confluences of resistance with the 70 RSI and the third ATR channel. Look, 92% of prices fell. And it did here, and it did here, and it did here. Qs. Lost the 100-day moving average, didn't it? Oh, I have Frank here, half position on the Qs. I think that's correct, Frank, right? Hey, I'll be looking to buy the Qs. We are at the negative third ATR channel. 92% of prices tend to bounce there, but you still need some kind of trigger. So an under 30, over 30, a close back over the 100-day moving average. The best thing that could happen is we go sideways for a while, have a false breakout, come back up, wash all those sellers out, and then have them move up. That would probably be the best. All right, so let me look at UNP and see what the spread is and all that. 14-cent spread, 12-cent spread. So I'd be a little concerned about just buying that at the market. I may put an order in here at the end of the day at the bid and see if I get filled. If I do, great. If not, then that's fine as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sell DIA. I don't think, I guess I could get a few more minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sell CarMax first. So I have to take my lump, sell CarMax. And I'm going to hold DIA into the end in case we have a little bit of a rally. So I sell one here. If it keeps going down, I'm glad that I sold CarMax here. And if it goes up, I'm glad that I held diamonds. So I hope that makes sense. All right. Jasmine says, I think we should wait till the election gets over and we might get a clear picture. What's your take on this? Yeah, I think so, but I don't think I'm going to wait till the election's over. I'm just going to take my positions when I take them because that's what I do, right? I try not to look at macroeconomics or elections or anything like that. in making my decisions, unless I just feel the volatility. But I position size small anyway. But no, I'm going to take the positions when I had them. Zach says, anyone keeping up with it know why Twitter dropped so much today? Just noticed it, but didn't really read anything on it. Wow, Twitter's down 21.7% today. Holy smokes. That chart is broken. Jatton says, Twitter, typical sign of a structural change in the current trend. Very nice, Jatton. Frank says, I'm a little concerned that the end of the year profit taking may come early due to election. Yep. That may be what we're going through. Greg, what about selling puts at these levels? Yeah, I sold puts today. I didn't mention it here, but I did sell puts today on Amazon. I sold one put of Amazon expiring January 15th at $2,100. Sorry, I forgot to update that. So yeah, my puts are down to they're 2,100. So as long as Amazon stays, this is a weekly chart. As long as Amazon stays above $2,100 by January 15th, I'll be able to keep the premium. But yeah, I like selling puts, deep out of the money puts, so you have a lot of protection on the best. If you remember, I did the same thing back in February and March, like on MasterCard and Apple, things like that. David says BRK rejected the 30 and 200 SMA again. Yeah, that's good. It's not, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. It's tested the 200-day 1, 2, 3 days in a row. The relative strength is pretty dang good. As a matter of fact, I think I like BRKB better than UNP. Thanks for pointing that out. I forgot about that. Yeah. Let me do a little math here. Yeah, I like it. BRKB is like an ETF itself. It went under 30, back over 30. Let's see, did it test the 30 again today? Yeah, it did. So under 30, over 30, it's tested it 3 times. Yeah, I like Berkshire. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, half position. Bob says Twitter declines also related to missed earnings. Frank says Mark Minervini posted that a drop in the market before an election historically meant the incumbent would lose. That is true. Anytime we're lower pre-election than in August, the incumbent tends to lose. Steve exited KMX for a 2.91% loss. Kamal says Twitter has a secondary. I might just read it in passing. Twitter is pricing impossible loss to Trump. Kamal says Barron's headline, Twitter stock plunges. Investors ask what happens if DT loses. Trump placing in shorts and then tweet simple trading. John, hey John, good to see you, buddy. Bonds going down with stocks. Curious. That is interesting. Hey, that guy that bought all those puts, that $98 million or $78 million worth of puts, he's doing pretty well, John, wouldn't you say? He sent me that article. Okay. I like BRKB here. I got to say, I do. I'm going to buy BRKB today. Berkshire. 3 tests of the 200-day, 2 tests of the 30 RSI. Relative strength is very good. Okay. I am buying BRKB right here. It's a 4-cent spread, but I'm okay with that. Okay, I did buy BRKB, and now I am just going to get out of DIA here at the end of the day. So I'll wait a couple more minutes. Oh my gosh. DIA may possibly close back above the 200-day. It's a possibility, or the 250 and the 30. If it is, I'll keep it. What do we have? 3 minutes? Steve says, I bought DIA on the dip. Bounce, recover the 30 RSI zone. Okay, so we're thinking the same thing here. So if it closes under, I am going to get out. But if it does, I am going to keep it. So right now it is, oh, it's at 30. I may not have to sell it. BRKB's doing well so far. Okay, so I am keying in on DIA here, and it looks like I can keep it so far. We'll see. This is always tough for me when it's so close because I have to manage 2 accounts. I have to switch from one account to the other account. Sometimes I can only do it in one. I just don't have enough time and it's too close. Well, BKRB is kicking butt. Nice. Maybe we're having the opposite of what happened on yesterday. Yesterday, the Dow collapsed at the end of the day. All right, I better not get too cocky about it because it may close under. Looks like it's holding. I think it's going to make it. Holy smokes. Boy, I'm glad I kept that DIA. I sold CarMax instead of DIA. That was a point's worth of holding, and CarMax hasn't bounced, but DIA has like crazy. Wow, I've done really well on BRKB. Wow. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Fantastic. Fantastic, everybody. Holy camole. Wow. That makes me very happy. I woke up with a bit of a fever today. I didn't feel so great yesterday going to bed, and then this morning I woke up, I was like, oh yeah, I got a fever, but I can still smell. So listen, Kamal said you were day trading fever today. I said, no, I had a fever day trading, but it still worked out, still green, happy for that. So listen, if you have any new updates for me today, please enter them into the chat and I will get them all updated. Before we get to that, I just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I really do like to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I think I teach a really good course. I've traded almost 25 years now. I have studied one-on-one with some really great traders, mentors, coaches like Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams, and the course that I teach, I incorporate everything that I've learned from these four gentlemen. Different approaches, all good, but you just use them at different times. And so the course is 15 hours, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. I teach the lesson, I ask you questions, then we just go through and look chart after chart after chart, day by day by day. Okay, are you in here? You are or you're not? Explain why. Where's your profit targets? We go to the next day. Did you take a profit target? Did you take a loss? Where's your emergency stop? Did you account for volatility in your position sizing? And I think it's very important when you learn something that you learn it one-on-one, and I think it's very important that you have repetition, 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 and that's what I do. And my goal when you're done with this class is that you really know how to trade, right? I mean, yeah, you're going to get better at it after the class as you do it, but to identify support, resistance levels, position size correctly, that's what I teach you. And so I think you'll definitely be a better trader. I've had a lot of clients that have told me that their trading has improved dramatically since they took the course. So, I'll help you to put together a trading plan, and that's what it takes. You have to have a plan. So if you're interested, you can send me an email. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, just say, hey, I'm interested in possibly taking your lessons and having a Skype call. The Skype call is free. It's just a time for us to be able to interview each other. It's not a sales call. I'm not going to ask you if you want to take the class or try to put you on the spot. I am definitely not like that. I just want to learn more about you and your trading, have you ask me questions about the course, and then I'll say, thanks, appreciate the Skype call. Think about it in the future. If you want to schedule a class, you can just always email me back and we'll do that way. And then if you like today's podcast, everybody, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help build the channel, lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. Okay. So if you could do that before you check out of here, that would be great. All right. Let me just take a look real quick. Wow. What a comeback. That was unbelievable. Whoa. I thought DIA was a goner for sure. Okay, so SPY. Oh, I just got a message from Calpesh. Okay, I'm going to look at Tilray. Remind me, Calpesh, where you bought that so I don't have to look back. But it sounds good. If you sent me that message, it sounds good. Okay, SPY at 264.54. Berkshire Hathaway at 201.42. Okay. I already have diamonds. Yeah, I already have diamonds. Okay. So SPY, my new SPY entry is at, boy, that was a big bounce at the end of the day. We talk about the large financial institutions and they move stuff at the end of the day. Well, that's what happened. Or maybe it was just Kamal. Maybe it was just Kamal buying that moved the market up. BRKB, I got it at a great price. Holy smokes. I'm glad I bought that a little early. I got that at 201.42. Good. VIX I held. Diamonds I held because they went under 30, back over 30. Still a little underwater on the trade, but not too bad. So that's a positive. SPY, of course, bought that here at 326.54. KMX I got out of with the loss of the 200-day. So that one was on the chopping blocks and is done. But that's how it goes. We don't win every trade, but what we do is keep our losses small when we do have a loss. All right. So again, DIA slightly underwater, but huge recovery. Tested the 30 back over the 250. VIX, been a great trade with those calls. SPY, got a pretty good price there at the close. And BRKB tested the 208 3 times, tested the 30 RSI twice, closed back above the negative third ATR channel, was green on the day, which is very good. I wonder if my little Union Pacific went green. Yes, it did. It did. But truth be told, I'd rather own BRKB than Union Pacific. Okay. What's happening after hours here? Apple's up 14 cents. BRK is up another $1. Hey, hey. DIA is up 62 cents. And SPY is up 81 cents. What happened? Was there any news? Holy smokes. Okay. Now, let's look at Tilray, because Kamal had an intraday trade on Tilray at 548, way down here. And he exited at 571. Very nice. Very nice, Kamal. Way to have the patience to hold through the whole day on that. And Kamal, let's see. Holy smokes, Kamal made 4.39% on Tilray today, everyone. 4.39%. Wow, what a perfect example, Kamal, of a good risk to reward ratio. His risk was very small. I can't remember what it was. It's like 10 cents or 20 cents or something like that. Or maybe 5 cents. I can't remember. Look at that, 4.39%. Excellent, Kamal. So proud of you, bud. So proud of you. All right. Gary said, was thinking about buying back the calls and setting the position, but didn't end up doing it with the quick rally at the end of the day. Oh, okay. Was thinking about buying back the calls and selling the position, but didn't end up doing it with the quick end of the day. So you kept the TQQQs. Is that what you're saying, Gary? Kamal says, Edgar, my Tilray. Excellent. Dan, KMX, minimal emotion. I like that. Minimal emotion is what we should all be striving for. We don't win every trade, right? If you're a really good trader, you probably win 65% of the time. If you're swing trading, so forth and so on. So that's 30% of the losses you're going to have. If you're a deep dip buyer, it may not even be that high, but your risk to reward is going to be good. So minimal emotion. I love it. Yas is out of KMX. Oh, Yas bought GDXJ. All right. So the junior gold miners for Yas. I know Yas likes gold. Gold related things because it's shiny. Man, that rally at the end of the day just put me in a great little mood. Yes, nice reversal. My system called it a buy. Fantastic. Well, there were some other buyers out there, you know, and like I said before, the large financial institutions they moved that stuff at the bottom. Jatin says triple bottom today on Dow Jones. Triple bottom in what sense? Probably in this sense. Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of depends, but Frank says, a tough market, period. I'm navigating with tight positions and emergency stops with generous time frames. Excellent, Frank. I never worry about Frank's trading. I've seen Frank trade long enough, man. He's solid. Solid as a rock. Johnson says, Kamal moved market. I know he did. He moved it. He moved it. When I talk about end of day, large financial institutions, I'm going to talk about Kamal moving the market. David, thank you for bringing up BKRB. I forgot all about it, and I would not have looked at it unless you would have said so. So glad to have you in that trade with me, and so far, really good trade. My gosh. Almost $1 so far. So thank you for that, Dave. If it goes down, I'll blame you on Monday. No, I'm kidding, buddy. Kamal says, all Kamal was doing was selling Tilray market on close. So Kamal says. Gary says, I kept a small position in KMX and sold a November 20 call against the position. Okay. I will note that. What was your thinking on that, Gary? I'd be interested to know what your thought process was on that trade. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just interested to what your thought process was. Quad says, news about 30 minutes ago that some cruise companies are opening back up. Oh. Miko says, thanks, Greg. Have a good weekend. Miko, get a hold of me so we can have a Skype call and catch up, all right? Johnson says, congratulations, Kamal. Fantastic. Kamal told me, yeah, I remember when Kamal typed it into Skype and told me he had bought it, but for some reason it wasn't registering. Even at the end of the day, he talked about it. I'm like, oh yeah, you bought that. But wow, congrats, buddy. Kamal's becoming quite the day trader. Kamal says, thanks, John. Gary says, thanks, Greg and group. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, says, I am primitive, so like shiny things. That's good. I like shiny things as well. I'm primitive as well. Kamal says, Gary, did I get you introduced to that call selling on losing trades? Jatin says, happy weekend, everyone. Thank you, Jatin. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for all your great input. You are very good with these levels and the analysis. Very impressed. Thank you for that. And thanks for contributing that to the group. And keep doing it if you don't mind. Oh, wait. Way up here, Steve. Okay. Steve is out of KMX. Anybody else out of KMX? And Steve bought diamonds at $263.76. Wow, nice purchase there, bud. So I'm not going to put another line because it gets busy, but 263.76 and it's 265.09. What a great buy there. Quad, cash for me. I'm out of, okay. Oh, Quad got out of DIA, huh? Okay. Did you just get out early? So I have Ahmad. And I still have, and then I have Gary who kept his position in CarMax, but he sold calls above it. So if it continues to go down, that will minimize his loss to the downside. Quad says, of course it rallied last minute. Frank says, the buzz seemed to be all about Bitcoin type trades. Yeah, Bitcoin's been hot. Jatin says, thanks for the appreciation, sir, but I've got great learnings from you all these days. Can't thank you enough. Oh, well, thank you. hey, well, you're teaching us stuff too. You know, I don't get into the levels quite as much with the analysis like you do, but you know, mine's more risk to reward ratios with moving averages and RSI's levels. But hey, between the two of us, right, everybody contributes a little bit. So thank you. And I'm glad it's helping. Gary says, Kamal, I have been a covered call seller for years, but you have recently jogged my memory. All right, let's check after hours. What's happening? Apple's up 19 cents. Amazon up $4.25. I need to put Amazon here because I sold those calls on, or I sold those puts on Amazon. ZN. Okay. Now, okay. Well, I guess I'll just update my position here too. Greg sold Amazon $2,100 puts January 15th for $12.29. Is that what it says? Yeah. So essentially, if Amazon stays above $2,100 by January 15th, I will make $1,229. And the delta on that is 4%. So there is a 4% chance that that will happen. That's what the Greeks are telling us with the Black-Scholes model. Very unlikely, but it's possible. So I have to be willing to buy Amazon at $2,100 in this scenario. But it does give me over 30% protection to the downside. Will it hold? I sure hope so, but you never know. Kamal says, Gary, okay, cool. I got burnt on the TQQQs. Not going to do that again anytime soon. Good. Listen, when you have a bad trade, and not that it was a bad trade, I thought that was a good setup. I took the same setup, but Kamal stayed in a little bit longer than I would have liked him to, and I'm sure he wishes he would have got out a little bit earlier. But if you make a mistake, look, you know, you paid money for it, but at least you can learn from it, right? At least you can learn from those mistakes. If you keep making mistakes and don't learn from it, then that's a problem. You should probably stop trading. But learning from your mistakes is fine in trading and in life. Wow, Exxon came back pretty big there. Well, I'll tell you what, I am going to go for a hike, but I'm going to go for a little short one. It's going to take more energy to put on all my clothes than it is to go for the hike, but I feel a little under the weather. So I'm just going to go out, get a little fresh air, a little sun, and go for a little hike, and that's about it. So if you have any other changes for me, updates, anything like that, let me know. I just want to make sure I have Frank's right. So I have Frank's at 111. I know that by heart now. And then he also has a half position from 284.60 on the Qs. Kamal says, recover well over the weekend. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. So, as always, listen, let's try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a nice gesture, do somebody a favor, or just be nice. You know, for me, I hike a lot up in the trails, and I know the trails very well. And I don't know, I probably help one or two people a day because they just have that lost look. But that's probably what I do the most. But I try to answer questions, whatever. But just do it in your own way. Just something nice, pleasant. Do something nice for somebody today. And then also, if you could do something nice for an animal today, that would be just doubly as good. They will appreciate it. I promise you. Just take them on a walk. Just talk to them. Give them a pet on the head, a little pat on the butt. Give them a little treat. Give them a little cuddle. Right? Just something like that. I guess you can give a cuddle to a human too, but you probably want to know them. So maybe that's not your first move, but at least try to do something nice. Dan says, happy trails, Greg. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that, my friend. Always nice to have Dan here. Dan has a really cool vibe about him, for sure. Quad says, thumbs up as always. Thank you, Quad. I appreciate that. All right. What a week. Well, we enter November next Monday. In the election, all sorts of stuff. So I'm glad we got October behind us. I did check my profit and loss. I did make money for October, so I am grateful for that, for sure, on such a crazy week. And that will be my goal again next month as well. So, okay, that's it. I am done. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Be good, and study up. Go read Steve's book. You can get it for a few dollars on Amazon, right? Moving Averages 101, second edition. It's expanded with charts and everything else. That book made a huge difference in my life, and spending $3 or $4 on that book, I don't think you would get a better risk to reward anywhere. So try to do that. Yas says, thanks, Greg. Thank you, Yas. Good seeing you. Frank says, did you get any trick-or-treaters there? Well, isn't tomorrow Halloween, Frank? Oh, do you get? Yeah, I get a few, but I live, up on the bench of a mountain, so it's just kind of the neighbors that are kind of around, but maybe three or four trick-or-treaters, not a ton. My neighbor has 2 little kids, so I'm going to go out and buy them a special little trick-or-treat treat. I'm not sure what to get them. I guess I'll have to walk around the store and find something. The little girl, she made me this nice little crayon picture, Halloween, boo, scare you kind of thing. So that was really nice. So I want to get those kids something. But yeah, I get a few trick-or-treaters. Not too many, though. Okay, well, again, thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks for everything that everyone contributes. I appreciate each one of you. I really do. Have a good weekend, and hopefully we'll have a good trading month coming up in November. Okay? Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit, No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.